popcorn ready.
Get your popcorn ready with the DA Show.
Okay, we are breaking down the 1994 film Little Big League, where the owner of the Minnesota Twins passes away abruptly during the season, but bequeaths the entire franchise to his 12-year-old grandson, who then takes over as the manager as the season is slipping away. And so we welcome in Andrew Bogish for this part 2 of the analysis. And we go back to Billy Haywood as the manager of the Twins. He's trying to get this season on track. He's trying little things that don't seem to be working. The guys are not responding to his managerial style, and things are sliding out of control for them as they fall further and further back in what I assume is the American League West, unless it's still the American League Central, or it would be the American League Central. This is right around realignment.
Yeah, based on the amount of times they seemingly play the Oakland A's, it feels like the American League West. So I'm going to go with that.
But there is a wild card in play here, as Chris Berman would cite later on in the movie. So maybe this is the first year of the realignment. It's hard to say.
It is.
It's hard to say. I also don't remember the Mariners having the navy blue unis already this early in the 90s. So
this is 94. They had it by 94.
My whole time frame is off.
So here's one thing I really didn't like. We talk about how the cost-cutting small market Twins are trying to save a buck. We're flying commercial. Yes. I don't like this at all. You're asking Lou Collins. You're asking Jim Bowers. You're asking all these guys to fly commercial.
I mean, Blackout Gatlin. He's a big dude.
Yeah.
Blackout Gatlin? What are we doing here? That's why they're losing. We got to get them a charter.
And nobody in Minneapolis airport seems to care. I've seen DA wander through that airport looking aimlessly for food. Nobody's stumbling on the Twins and trying to talk to them.
I didn't like this at all.
Well, DA, finances are a big issue throughout the whole movie. I mean, let's not forget the now owner of the Twins has his hotel pay-per-view bills mailed to his house and not the Metrodome office.
Well, no, somebody snitched on him.
Oh.
I think the mom said Alan or somebody sent this to me. So somebody in the organization got the bill, and then the traveling secretary, I'm assuming, and said, hey, Mom, you kind of maybe need to deal with, night nurses from Jersey.
Again, I didn't like this. Billy Haywood is on the road.
Yeah.
He's the owner of the team. He wants to watch a naughty movie on Spectravision at night at the hotel.
You let him.
Not only do you let him, if he wants to watch Night Nurses from New Jersey 3 times in 3 days, he's allowed to. You can't send that bill home.
Well, hold on a second, though.
Mom can't know about that.
I agree.
That goes to the team's financial officer, and that's petty cash or whatever.
But he's still a kid, DA.
But that's his boss.
It doesn't matter.
He's the owner.
Doesn't matter. He's still a kid. You need to look out for him. Now, I would wonder and ask, where's the Minnesota State labor laws? He should have some kind of chaperone, not just Mac, the pitching
managing
coach.
a baseball team. He can watch pornographic film.
No.
Rules are out the window.
No. You always need to be a good person. You can't grow up too fast.
And DA's going to
Mom
get
needs
to this.
to know about this.
DA's going to get to this, but this is undermining the manager and later leads to a bigger issue in Minnesota.
We get the next scene the next day. Look, Naughty Nurses in Jersey has kept him up quite late. We don't know what he was doing as he was up late, but he's watching this. Gets to the ballpark, falls asleep in the dugout during the game.
Can't happen.
Now you're 12 years old. You're trying to turn around a franchise, your first managerial job ever. I know Naughty Nurses is interesting, but I don't care if you stay up until 3 a.m., 4 a.m., and it's a day game the next day. You've got to be awake in the dugout.
At Fenway, you would think a 12-year-old at Fenway would be mesmerized. And by the way, not a comfy dugout to be sleeping. We're crushing La Russa this week for sleeping in a dugout.
Crushing him, and he's 80.
And he's 80. You're 12. You should have more energy than anybody.
But, guys, don't forget the reaction in the dugout. Everybody loved it. It was one of the ways that he kind of ingratiated himself to the group, that because somebody's like, another victim of the Night Nurses of Jersey. It was another way for him to become one of the guys.
Yeah, but pay attention and manage the team.
I just thought it was a bad look. Again, you're the manager. You're trying to drag this team out of the doldrums, and you're falling asleep at Fenway. It's a big series on the road in Boston. What I thought was interesting is that we don't know whether Lou Collins is a good investment or a bad investment. He's the veteran guy, been in the franchise a long time. Mraz had noted he's the Joe Mauer of this generation, the 90s.
Yeah,
of the Minnesota
post-Kent
Twins.
Herbeck. And now you got another sweet swinging lefty first baseman.
Post Puckett.
Yeah.
This is the superstar of the team, the face of the franchise. He takes his benching really well. Billy doesn't like the fact that Lou is trying to date his mom. He finds Lou at his house late night. They're canoodling. And this is why Billy goes, you know what? You're distracted by my mom. Your head's not on baseball. You got to take a seat. He's the franchise face. He's making the most money, and yet he takes a benching in the middle of the summer very well. I appreciated the attitude from Lou Collins.
This team has struggled all year. He's the biggest paid star on the team, and he has spent an entire season wooing the now owner's mom and passed away owner's former daughter-in-law or daughter-in-law. That's a big conflict. And, by the way, felt early on in spring training and beyond like he was only talking to Billy to get closer to his mom. Luke Collins signed a contract to be closer to a woman and not play baseball for the Minnesota Twins.
That's a leap, Sean.
Now, we'll get to this a little bit later on, but this relationship creates quite the pinch point of the playoffs. But as we now make our way through the summer, it's starting to turn around. Billy Haywood has the Twins playing fun, lively, loose baseball. He's got them playing like they're kids again. And so this is a real burst of energy to the Twins. But now we're coming to the end of the summer, and it seemed like it was a, quote, summer job for 12-year-old Billy Haywood.
Right.
But he's going into 7th grade next year. Where are the people saying, are you going back to school? Because summer is going to end August 31st or thereabouts, and he's still managing into September deep into a playoff race.
I think the people in Minnesota and the people at that now junior high are going to look around and say, we want the Twins in the playoffs so Billy can wait on the social studies for a month. I think you're valuing a run by the Twins. As you said, now go for football, maybe push to the side a little bit. You don't get a good year like that with the Twinkies off.
But what about Jenny Haywood, his mom? His mom's not going around late August. Hey, when's the jig up here?
Because she's distracted from Lou Collins, too.
You got to give this team to Mac for September 1 and send Billy back to school. He can't be managing.
You're talking about a mother left on a date and left 3 11-year-olds to watch themselves with no babysitter. The mom doesn't care. She's a bad mother.
But don't forget, though,
I think that's out of bounds.
Yeah, I mean, seriously.
I don't want to call
sign
Jenny
up
Haywood a bad
to go
mom.
after Jenny. I mean, you're just all over the map with these baseless accusations.
Dude, one of the first things he asks is, how's your mother? All he's preoccupied with is the mother.
Because he's been around the team for years. He knows her well.
Sucks.
Lou Collins?
He sucks. I would not want Lou Collins on my team.
Without Ken Griffey being Ken Griffey Jr.
We'll get to it. Let DA carry. We have thoughts. I know DA's going where I think he's going.
Okay.
But don't forget, though, before we leave this, he takes the job when the previous school year is still in session.
Yeah.
So they've already made the school decision. I don't think there doesn't even need another decision for the beginning of the next school year.
It was right on the precipice of the summer beginning.
But still, they were ready for tutors, whoever was taking it. He was doing his math homework in the dugout. There was in the clubhouse. There was a plan for this.
Stretch run starts going well. Twins start turning it around. Things get a little icy because everyone starts getting a little too tense, including Billy Haywood. But then there's a moment where Lou Collins tells Billy, after Billy reinstalls him as the everyday first baseman, hey, I want to marry your mom. And I'm going, in the middle of a pennant race, you're dropping that bomb in the middle of a game?
No, it's the one-game playoff.
It's already the one-game playoff?
It's game 163.
You've skipped ahead a couple ways. It is game 163. And not only is it game 163.
Come on.
It's, seemingly
It's the 9th inning.
No, I think it's extra innings.
Whatever. It's his last at-bat for the
12
Twins.
innings. It's the last at-bat for the Twins. The Mariners have just taken the lead in a one-game playoff.
Okay, so let's rewind. I skipped ahead.
Yeah, I mean, you're forgetting the most important stickball game in Twins history. Because that's the stickball game is what reinvigorates Billy and makes him the good manager again that fuels their push to the finish line to catch the Mariners to create game 163.
He walks by the schoolyard. There's a stickball game going on. They need another player. They say, hey, aren't you the owner of the Twins? He's like, no, I get that a lot. And then he comes up with the fake name Jim Bond.
Yeah.
Tough. I'm sorry. I'm not going to allow you guys to fast forward without, I think, the crucial moment of the whole season. After he gets into an argument with an umpire where he calls him a big dork and other curses, the umpire rats him out to his mom. His mom has no power to suspend the manager of the Twins for one game.
Well, that is true.
You want to talk about a bad mother? She's already allowed this jig, as we'll call it, to be up here, right? She's allowed this to go on. He's right when he says a manager needs to be able to argue with umps to do his job. The idea in the middle of a pennant race that this mother, Jenny, could suspend Billy for a game when the Twinkies need every game. By the way, they don't suspend them. Maybe they're not in a one-game playoff. Maybe it's taken care of in 162. This is such every game matters. players. Jenny sucks as a mom and as a controlling partner of the Minnesota Twins.
Control freak.
She can't suspend the manager. He's the manager.
Throw out the league.
You fighting back a Chris Russo impersonation in the middle of that rant's impressive.
A controlling partner of the Minnesota Twins did suspend her son, the manager of the Twins, and Mraz is right. She has no control over that. He's got to be allowed to say what he needs to say to the ump. Likely was worse than a big dork. That's why he gets suspended, grounded basically for a game to learn his lesson. But she can't do that. She oversteps her boundaries.
But he's
A
out of
diehard
control,
Twins fan
guys.
slits her tires on the car in that spot.
But this is in the middle of his meltdown. She's trying to save her son. And he deserved it. And he's still, like with Night Nurses of New Jersey, he's still a boy. He's still a kid.
So suspend him for that. Not for cursing
what?
at an umpire.
Potty mouth. Bad. Can't do that.
Come on.
No
He's
cussing.
firing up the team.
And again, are you really the competent parental decider here?
We then are doing the math problem in the locker room. And the sight of all sights, they're all trying to figure out this painting equation. If I've got one guy who can paint a house in 3 hours, one guy that can paint a house in 5 hours, if they both come together, how long will it take to paint the house? The entire team trying to figure it out. And of all people, the airhead,
Bowers.
Jim Bowers, relief pitcher, walks to the whiteboard after throwing water balloons at teammates out of hotel rooms, comes to the whiteboard, boom, bim, boom, nails it.
A plus B divided by A times B.
Oh, but of course, my diminutive leader. Long have I been familiar with the exactitudes of the mathematical world.
Bowers crushes it, and then, of all the things, nails the riddle, the answer to the riddle that I was wondering about the entire day.
That one was easy.
I had no idea. Cowboy rides
So
into
easy.
town on Friday, stays 3 days, rides out of town on Friday. How does that happen? And nobody knows, and that's a riddle that I had no idea about. Bowers unlocks this great mystery by going, and the horse's name is Friday.
Yes!
Yeah.
You knew that all along.
Yes! You know what? Enjoy knowing what the Magna Carta is. I figured that out in 2 seconds.
Really?
Yes.
I mean, this is, again, my 6th viewing of this movie, so I don't know if I renew it in
On
viewing
Friday.
one.
Those are always going to listen to those hinted riddles.
Right.
I was trying to figure that out forever.
It's
I had no
always in the
idea.
name.
The horse was named Friday. Cowboy rides into town on Friday, stays for 3 days, rides out of town on Friday. How does he do it? Horse is named Friday.
Yes.
So Bowers ends up being a very intellectual ball player.
Smart guy.
And I think that's a real key to this renaissance of the Twins, is because what you have is a very good live right arm with the thinking man's game.
Which is perhaps why he's trusted for not one but 2 innings in a 1-game playoff.
We get to the stretch run. Twins have to chase down the Mariners, and they end up in a 1-game playoff. And boy, where would you rather be than the Metrodome for a 1-game playoff game, 163,
Rockin'.
with Junior Griffey against Bowers and Lou Collins and a Twins team managed by a 12-year-old. This is made for TV. This is an amazing baseball moment.
That is one of the great moments in baseball history. And in reality, a lost-forgotten moment for a young rookie by the name of Mickey Scales, who hit a big 3-run homer in that game to tie the game.
True. Now, Junior gets caught trying to take second on the pass ball routine.
He can't fall for that. You're Ken Griffey Jr.
And I love Junior. He changed baseball culture forever. Backwards hat, the sweet swing, the style of Griffey. But they fake the throwaway down the first base line.
Security guard moving the chair.
The security guard's even into it, moving the chair. Uh-oh, where's the ball? Griffey rounds first, comes into second. The ball is there. Tags him out. I'm going, golly, Griffey, you're not heady enough to know the pass ball routine?
And Bowers apparently not even hiding the ball, holding it in his bare hand, too.
know.
Nobody's yelling at Griffey, get back. Ken Griffey Jr.'s got to be better than that.
Well, and
He's a son of a ball player. He's got to be
And it's a
aware.
1-game playoff.
Yes.
He's the ultimate GOAT there.
And, I mean, where's the anger? Because when that happens, I'm thinking, isn't that a balk? You can't fake a throw to first base.
interesting.
Where's Pinella?
Wow.
Where's
Wow, didn't
Griffey?
think about
Screaming and yelling, stomping their feet. You could run that play if you throw it and Lou Collins pretends he didn't catch it, and then maybe he's the one that tags Griffey or he's the one that throws second base. but they went to the next level
Wow.
and somehow skirted the rules there.
Perhaps led to replay.
It's an incredible
Yeah,
one
I don't
game.
think that play works now. I don't think it's legal now.
It's an incredible one-game playoff. It really is. And it comes down to big unit, Randy Johnson come out of the pen to shut things down. Now, I do have to question Lou Piniella's use of Randy Johnson down the stretch, that he's only available for the bullpen for 163. I would have thought that he starts game 163.
No, because remember, all they needed was a win. Had nothing to do with the Twins in game 162. So my guess is Unit started that 162, and this is him on no days rest coming out of the pen.
Yeah, I don't remember if he started the Saturday or the Sunday game, but he had pitched like
Yeah, they
40
needed one
hours
win.
before.
They needed one win.
Now, I think you could argue should he have started the 9th to begin with.
Okay.
But I think he only had a few bullets,
Yeah.
and they saved him for Lou Collins.
And then he comes in, and that's where Lou Collins says, hey, I proposed to your mom.
This is
Come on.
Yeah, the Mariners had just taken a lead.
The
Come on.
timing of
Right.
this.
So here's where you can bash Lou Collins.
is
You went
the- but-
overboard before.
But
He
you
can't be thinking about chicks in that
dude,
inning.
you saw this coming all year long. All he cared about was Jenny Haywood. All he cared about.
Wait until the game's over. The
I mean, this
season's
could be
over.
the Fiesta Bowl. Boise State on one knee. You're doing the proposal. The Mariners take the lead. You go behind the dugout and go, Jenny, I want to marry you. The unit's coming out of the pen with the season on the line. And then he go, Billy, she said, I got to ask you. Ask you? The kid's confused. This is the biggest moment of his life.
He's managing game 163 in the bottom of the ninth or
Oh!
extra innings, and he's got to now process mom just got proposed to by my first baseman?
You're trying to get to the division series. Mom can wait. Pop that ring on her finger on Thanksgiving, for crying out loud.
It's
There's
gotta
no
wait.
rush.
The proposal's got to wait. And then to tell Billy this as he goes up to the plate, there's a million things swirling through Billy's head. He's 12. And now it's, oh, mommy's getting action from Lou.
The
and
kid's
now-
grandpa's died. The kid's father's died.
Hey.
He's trying to win a game. His friends hate him. They're debating Batman at McDonald's. And now he's got to listen to his star first baseman about to face 102-mile-an-hour fastballs with the season on the line, proposing to his mom behind the dugout. Lou Collins needs to be traded. Get him to the Cubs. Get him out of Minnesota. He sucks. He's a fraud. He's made to be a hero in this movie, and he's an irrelevant loser.
Lou Collins ends up being a bit of a father figure in some ways, but also
Yes.
undermining the season.
Yeah, I don't know
He undermines the 94 Twins many times over.
Well, although he tries to along the way, he's the one that starts to help Billy get back into being the good Billy. He tells him how it's not Scales, the outfielder, has playing with a broken rib because Billy's crushing him. He's on him. Why aren't you hitting? Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you hustling? And it's Lou that goes, he's got 2 broken ribs, man. Go easy. So there needs to be a whole other segment why Sean hates Lou Collins so much, because Lou's a good guy until this moment. This is his first misstep in my book, is whether that's a weird way to like reset Billy's perspective in the moment, distract him from the tension of the moment. No matter what, it's a bad decision to tell a kid, I'm going to be your dad soon. What do you think?
You know what? A couple more hacks in the cage, and maybe he doesn't fly out to Griffey and he hits it out.
He didn't
Ultimate-
fly to Griffey, he threw it over the fence.
Ultimately, on the final out of the game, Lou Collins lets one ride all the way to the outfield, over the fence, but Griffey robs him of the game-winning or game-tying home run. And that's the way the 94 Twins season ends.
He's going oppo off Randy Johnson in extra innings, robbed by Griffey, who's running from Tacoma. He crosses the center field
Great
wall.
catch by Griffey. Griffey needed that after the play, but Collins maybe gets just a little more muscle into it if he's a little more focused and not eating corn dogs at amusement parks.
Right. Sorry, because the potential
What a bum.
Hockey Hall of Famer now is asking
Absolute
for 2
bum.
more rows of
Absolute
death
bum.
off of Lou Collins'
He's-
opposite field homer off of Randy
Let me tell you
Johnson.
something. What Lou Collins pulled this year is worse than anything Giancarlo Stanton's done at the Yankees.
That's Little Big League. I have a tendency to believe that somewhere in hour number 4 we'll also touch on a few other little extraneous details from this film.